Hello everyone, welcome back to Turing Machine. I'm sure a video went up recently, but I haven't played this in a few days, so I got some reacquainting myself to do. We're just playing on hard. Like I said, I'd like to go back on Nightmare one of these days, but hard is challenging enough to print interesting puzzles. So yeah, this is hard classic, I guess is the word, right? Yes. So just 5 verifiers, no funny business. The code to play along should be in the description below, but if not, here it is. C5I CXD, Charlie 5 India Charlie X-ray Delta, I guess. There's 1 or 2 letters in the NATO alphabet I forget sometimes. I remember most of them. Anyway, so if you want to play along, go do that now. Otherwise, so we're going to get started here. Oop, I almost hit the stop recording button for some reason, thinking I would have to do something. I don't know. Anyway, what do we have? We're told whether yellow is even or odd. Okay. Well, we know yellow can't be 3. Oh, I got smaller decals, by the way, so they should fit okay on stuff. If we were told yellow is greater than 3, A would be redundant, so that can't be the case. So we know either blue or purple is 3. Interesting. And we know one of the colors is uniquely smallest or largest. Well, if there were 2 4s, then B would solve the puzzle, right? Because we'd know which number is a 3. So that can't be the case. There can't be 2 4s. Or this can't be telling us there are 2 4s. It could be telling us how many 3s there are, and maybe there could be 2 4s by coincidence. Could this be giving me yellow? I assume it could. Because then this combined, C and A combined would give me yellow exactly. This would give me one of the other 2 colors. I would have either yellow is 4 or yellow is 5. Something else would be 3. Then I couldn't have something marked uniquely smallest. Could I? No, I don't think so. But something uniquely largest would be maybe possible? I don't know. So here's the thing. If this told me yellow is greater than 3, C and A would give me yellow. B would give me one of the other numbers. And if this told me there's a 4, or told me, well, told me how many 4s there are. Told me there was 1 4 or 1 3. No. If it told me there were a 4, that would solve the puzzle. I think. But if this told me the number that's equal to 3 is uniquely smallest, that would, I think, not be interesting. Because the number equal to 3 were uniquely smallest, and we knew what yellow was. The other one would be 4 or 5, right? But I guess the number of 4s would clear that up. Maybe. No, it wouldn't, because I couldn't really tell whether it's the number greater than 3 is a 4, or whether it's not a 4 and the other number happens to also be 4, right? Yeah, so I don't... I think if this told me yellow is greater than 3... Sorry, yeah. Oh, right, yellow is the one that's greater than 3. In that supposed universe. Something else is 3. If it told me that were uniquely largest, that would be impossible, because we'd know yellow is bigger. But it could tell me one of the other colors is uniquely largest. It could tell me the number 3 is uniquely smallest. Well, that seems possible, because then this could clarify, oh, by the way, even though yellow is odd and greater than 3, therefore 5, there's still a 4. So I think that this could tell me yellow is greater than 3. The other two are clearly possible, I think. Now let's see. Whatever number this indicates, or color, let's say, this indicates, we can't have being uniquely smallest for a lot of reasons. Because we know something is 3, and also because if it were 4, the other two would have to be 5, and everything else would be redundant. So... But it still could tell me something else is uniquely smallest. Right, we could have a big number and a 3 and something that's uniquely small, which could be either the 3 or something else. Could there be 2 3s? Probably not. Yeah, that would be impossible. Because one of the numbers would be greater than 3, and then I would know that it's uniquely largest and nothing else could possibly be said by D. So E can't be that there are 2 3s. 1 and 0 seem possible. And we already established whatever this indicates can't be indicated to be smallest by D. But I believe it could be largest. Or a different color could be smallest. If this indicates largest, could this indicate... Well, obviously this does, right? Could this indicate that something else is uniquely largest? Like if you said purple is greater than 3, but purple is the largest... I already forgot the colors I named. If I said blue is big, but purple is biggest, that would make blue 4, purple 5, and then yellow 3. Well, okay, actually that's impossible. But if I picked any two numbers, if this number were large and some other number were larger, then a third number would have to be 3, and A and D would be redundant. So this can't indicate that whatever color C indicates is the smallest, nor can it indicate that a different number is the largest. So either the number it's indicating is the largest, or a number it's not indicating is the smallest. That's interesting. So while D appears to have 6 possibilities, if we get C narrowed down, we can erase half of D already, right? Without having to query it at all. And in that sense, it only has 3 possibilities. Okay. Oh. There can't be 0 3s because I know one of the numbers is a 3. I can't believe I missed this for so long. I just wasn't thinking about it. A number is 3. If there were 0 4s, would that be difficult? I'd know something is greater than 3 and therefore that it's 5. That would nail it down. This would tell me the other number is 3. And then whatever this tells me would be a problem, I think? Because if it told me something is uniquely largest, I would... not... It would have to indicate the thing that's 5, obviously, the one that's greater than 3. And then I wouldn't really have a way to narrow down what the third number is. The one that's not 3 and not 5. It could be anything, right? Or if that number is yellow, then I could have its parity down, but there's still 2 different things. Oh no, there aren't. If I knew yellow were even... and let's say purple was big. And there were no 4s. Then I know purple is 5. I knew blue was 3. Then all I'd have is yellow's parity, but I would know there couldn't be a 4. So if I knew yellow were even, that would actually leave me with just one solution. But is telling me that something is uniquely largest really all that interesting in that case? I think it's not, right? Because I could remove that information. If I knew purple was the biggest and there were no 4s, it would have to be 5. I'd know there was a 3. And if something told me yellow were even, then the no 4s would be cluing me in that it's a 2. But this would be irrelevant. If I knew yellow were odd, then I couldn't tell it apart between 1 and 3, right? So I think if it told me that there were 0 4s, I think I might be unable to solve the puzzle. Or, well, it would either be redundant or there would be no solution. That's the most complicated pregame deduction so far. Let's think about that again. If this said, let's mark that with a maybe, we're assuming this. There are 0 4s. One number is big, and therefore is 5. That number. Let's assume, I think without loss of generality, that it's purple. I mean, yellow is a little bit different, but... and then if this told me something is uniquely largest, it would have to be purple. If it told me something were uniquely smallest... Well, we know a number is 3, which would have to be blue, I guess. So I'd have purple 5, blue 3 already. If this said uniquely largest... Well, yellow even would give me either 2 or 4. But we know there's no 4s, so it would be 2, and then I wouldn't need D. Because I'd have the code being 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5 rather. If yellow were odd... then there's no real way I could narrow it down between 1 and 3, right? Maybe if yellow were uniquely smallest? Yeah, That does actually seem like there's no redundancy in that case, right? If we... I think I've marked with a maybe a set of criteria that these verifiers could be verifying that contains no redundancy. No! Yeah, okay, hang on. Yeah, I think it does. So... if blue were 3, purple were big, I would need this information about 4s to know whether purple is 4 or 5. And I need yellow smallest and yellow odd to narrow down whether yellow is... to narrow down yellow at all, I guess. So, yeah, I think this is actually possible. So I don't think I can conclude that it's telling me there are 0 4s. All right, well, maybe I'll get started then. I think C is by far the most important verifier, and we may as well ask D. And let's say E, because it also has several possibilities remaining. I'd like to make sure to construct my query such that I take advantage of the synergy between C and D. Because we already know that whatever number C is indicating can't be indicated smallest here, nor can anything else be indicated largest. So I think what we want to do is... no, I mean, obviously not, 411 isn't quite what I want to ask probably, but this would indicate, just for my example thinking here, that the blue is the largest. I want to make sure... sorry, the blue is large. If I hit a yes here, then I'll be happy, because I'll have eliminated more than I expected. So I'm okay with having a bad question for D in the case that I got a yes. I want, if I get a no, to have a question that helps me narrow down D a lot. So what does that mean? If I knew that blue were not the one bigger than 3, and the yellow and purple one of them were, then what would I want to eliminate from this? I'd want to eliminate... well, I already have eliminated blue largest, right? Because something else would be large. Right? So it'd be sort of 5 here. And figuring this out would resolve... would remove another one from this row. And one from this row. So, I don't know. Maybe I want something like 4, 2, 1. Is that okay? If I get a yes here from C, how bad is my question for D? Seems pretty good, right? Well, maybe not. Because I would have eliminated blue smallest, yellow largest, and purple largest. I guess it would be fine. I would have 3 possibilities left, and I'd be doing as well as I could, hitting 2 of them or 1 of them. So what if I get a no from C? Then I can eliminate this. And which of these am I hitting? Only 1. That seems bad. It's actually tough to construct a question where if C answers no, you do well with D, huh? Because if you get a no, you eliminate the one that was the largest, which is like kind of what your query has to have been. So all you can ask is if one other is the smallest. Maybe that's still okay. And this covers 0, 4s, which is fine. Now, could this be telling me there's 1, 3? We didn't really think too much about that. It wouldn't be telling us much, right? Let's go into maybe mode here. If this told me there was only 1, 3, well, we would know it's whatever this is. I don't feel like it can really tell me that, but I'm not sure what avenue to go down to prove it. Because, like, let's say it told me, I don't know, purple is greater than 3. Then I'd know there's another 3, which is blue. Yellow uniquely smallest? Is that interesting somehow? I don't know. I think it probably can't tell me that, but I think maybe what I'll do is just ask about 0, 4s, and then if we're still torn between these two, I'll think harder about it. So is it possible, what if we asked D first and then went back to C? Does that make any sense? Could we construct queries that would work well for that? Why am I thinking that D then C is better? I mean, because this lets me hit... I guess the issue with D, it's difficult to ever hit a lot of things on this, right? You can only ever be targeting 2 out of 6. You can't ever target half. Because you can't have more than one thing be uniquely largest or uniquely smallest? So I guess if I ask D and it says no with 421, where does that leave me? It wouldn't be telling me blue is the largest or that either of the other two are smallest. Would asking C still be helpful? I guess. I think I'm just like tricking myself into getting the redundant information before I make it redundant, and then it feels smart. But I'm going to ask D first anyway. Okay, so this is my first guess. My first query. Got an X from D. So it doesn't care about blue being biggest or purple being smallest. Now, oh, right, the other four we don't know. If I ask C, could it possibly say yes? It could. And if so, we would know yellow is the smallest. I mean, that's possible. It seems unlikely. Maybe I can leave C alone. Try to solve it via D. Let's ask E first. Keep stalling. Got an X. Oops. So that tells me it doesn't want there to be 1, 4. There's either a 3 or 0, 4s, or perhaps both. But one of those two is what's being verified. And I almost proved that 0, 4s can't be the answer. I didn't quite get there. We could just barely squeak by. But it's starting to look like there might be 1, 3. I mean, we know there is at least 1, 3, but that might be what this is telling us. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and ask A. Let's get this parity thing figured out. Another no. I believe I can figure out C by looking at D. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. So yellow was even here, so we can say it's checking that yellow is odd. Which I guess we should reflect on the grid here. We know it's one of those three, but I shouldn't put a check mark on any of them. Okay. So now could there be 0, 4s? Now that we know yellow is odd, 0, 4s is a little bit less powerful, right? Because one of the things it was used for was for disambiguating, like, whether yellow is 2 or 4. That's now impossible. So let's go back to supposing here that there were no 4s. If we discover that, like, purple is greater than 3, then we'll know any one of these 3, which is quite a lot. If blue were greater than 3, this would be kind of powerful, right? Because... No, but we know that's not true. No, I didn't ask C. If it were the case that blue is greater than 3, we would definitely have yellow smallest. And purple 3. And then this 0, 4s would be important for narrowing down whether blue is 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think that's one of perhaps many ways that there could be 0, 4s as a clue. Telling me there's only one 3? I mean, we'd know which one it is. That's cool. We'd know something is greater than 3. I don't know. Oh, my brain's not really ready to be thinking super hard, I guess. What if yellow were greater than 3? Would that be interesting? We would know that it would be 5. We know one of the others is 3. Oh, this shouldn't still be here, I think. I started a new guess. What if yellow were greater than 3? I don't know why telling me yellow is uniquely largest would be interesting in that case. I don't think it would. Huh. If yellow were greater than 3, I'd know one of the other numbers is a 3. And if that 3 were uniquely smallest, that wouldn't be interesting. If yellow were uniquely largest, that wouldn't be interesting. Because I wouldn't really be able to disambiguate what everything else is, I think. And if I were told the non-3 is uniquely smallest, I don't think I could narrow it down to 1 or 2. So I kind of feel like yellow greater than 3 is impossible. Because how can I solve the other 2 colors? I know one of them is 3. Fine. Oh, I guess I could be told that the 3 is uniquely smallest. And then the other one would have to be 4 or 5. And telling me there are 0, 4s could disambiguate which. Okay. Tricky. Let's get rid of these maybes again. So let's try like blue smallest, yellow Blue smallest, purple biggest? Oops, this was actually supposed to be X, right? It couldn't tell me yellow is actually equal to 3. I accidentally got rid of that when I was removing my question marks. And yellow... Let's try making it 4, I think. Because if I get a no from D on this, I'll know it's not yellow, blue smallest, or purple largest. So I know it'll be telling me something about yellow. And then... I don't know. Seems like asking C would be okay at that point. Oh, I don't want there to be a 4. Because like, now I can't question E at all with this query. Okay, but I could put a 3 in, and now we're splitting the goalposts on E, right? So C, D, and E and B are all sort of fine to ask. Yeah, okay. Let's try 3, 4, 5. That's probably fine. And ask D first. I still think D is the key to everything. We got an X, which tells me it is looking at yellow, huh? It cares something about yellow. Yellow's either the biggest or the smallest. Okay, I mean, let's ask C, I guess. That's a yes. Okay. Which tells us that either yellow... Oops. It can't be checking that blue is greater than 3. It could be either of the others. Okay. Do I have to ask another question? I assume I do, but technically there are only 8 possibilities left. It looks like 16 because we have 4 cards, each with 2 possibilities. But C and D are really telling us the same thing now. Or there's only 2 possibilities total between them. Either yellow is biggest, and either yellow is big and it's the biggest, or purple is big and yellow is the smallest. So we could ask, like, now maybe, has 0 4s suddenly become impossible? I don't know, probably not. Let's just ask E something. E says no. So it doesn't like there to be a 3, which means it does like there to be no 4s. Okay. Cool. So whichever number is greater than 3 is definitely 5. right? Does that mean it's uninteresting to know that yellow is the largest? Because if yellow were the largest... Ah. It can no longer be telling me yellow is greater than 3, I think. Because combined with E, that would tell me yellow is 5, and then I wouldn't need A. Okay, I think we must be ready to solve now. This should break everything. Purple is larger than 3, which means we can't say yellow is the largest. It must be that yellow is the smallest. We proved that a while ago, the way these two are tied together. So purple is definitely 5. Because it's greater than 3 and there aren't any 4s. Yellow is the unique smallest. And there are no 4s. And one of the numbers has to be 3. And it has to be blue, right? And then we need yellow's parity to nail down whether it's 1 or 2. And since it's odd, it's 1. So I think that's the code. 315. Let's first do a quick basic test that, like, what we've written down as the answer doesn't contradict any of the things we've deduced here. There are 0 4s. Yeah, I agree. Let's write down 315 with this so they don't have to peer through the backs of the check marks. Okay, and then yellow's the smallest. Yep. Purple's big. Yeah. Blue is 3. Yeah. Yellow's odd, and we needed all of that information. We could double check, I suppose, that that this is the actually only possible answer we could get, but I think that's pretty easy, right? If we know that purple is big and not 4, then it's 5. Yellow, well, blue then has to be 3. Yellow is small and odd, making it 1. Yeah, that all leaves us with no choices. Then we could go back and double check, do these 6 answers uniquely narrow us down to here? But that's too complicated. I'm just going to go enter 315. I think it's right. Right, 315 is my code. Yep. That is correct. How'd the machine do? Good question. I got no's from A, D, and E. And then I got a yes from C and a no from the 2 after it. The machine took 3 rounds and 8 questions. Very well. So we didn't quite avoid asking C, which is kind of funny. So I thought narrowing down D might give me the answer to C, but I went the other way instead. Once D was still proving recalcitrant, I went after C to see if it would help me unlock D, and it did, right? C was the last question I asked, I believe. D, E, C? Maybe D, C, E, I don't remember. Anyway. Always nice to get a hard in 2 rounds. I mean, it's not like outstanding or anything, but it's a competent performance. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.